Welcome back to Autodesk Maya. In this tutorial we're going to explore the power of the Extrude tool. So if I click on the polygon shelf here, I'm going to add a couple of primitives here. So I'm just going to move them out of the way here. I'm going to add this one and maybe a sphere and maybe a cylinder here. So what I want to share with you is the power of the Extrude tool. Now really interesting things you can do with the Extrude tool. We'll start with the cube here first. If you right click, go to face mode. Typically faces are what you extrude. So you can extrude edges and vertices. Verts basically are pretty useless. You may want to extrude an edge though. So I will demonstrate that real quick. If we go to the edit mesh category, here is the extrude. And again, if you want to add that to your custom shelf, you would hit Control Shift or Command Shift on a Mac. You can go to the options and kind of see what's available here. But basically, if you leave it at the default setting, you'll find out that there's lots of cool things that happen. So let's go on the custom shelf here. And my extrude tool is here on the second one. Once I click on it, you'll see here I've got some options. So I've got thickness, offset, divisions, and keep faces together here that are really important. So you'll notice if you select an edge, you have this issue where it's going out in the normal direction. If you click this little widget, what's happening here? It's now following the world view. So if you want it to come out straight like that, you can click on that. So let me undo that again by hitting Control Z or Command Z. If I were to click on this, it's going to go out in the normal direction. So this is an important concept. By default, it's set up to the normals. So typically, you would leave it the way it is for most extrusions. There are some cases where you would want it to go in the world view, like this one. Perhaps I would want to go this way where it comes out straight. So again, I'm going to undo, and typically, again, I don't usually extrude out edges, but I extrude out faces quite a bit. So I'm going to select this face here, click on the extrude again, and I'll go through some of these features. So the thickness basically draws it out. This draws it out exactly the same, but it's in the local translate Z, which is the during the normal direction. The offset basically is how much you want to push out or push in. So if you want your extrusion to kind of sink in and become a little bit more sort of sci-fi quality, or you could push it out. Divisions essentially add more detail if you're going to subdivide the mesh or provide other areas to extrude. The faces on and off we're going to get together on another mesh, but if I click on one of these and do an extrude again, you'll see now it's going in the normal direction. So again, if I hit Control Z or Command Z to undo that and click on it and do it again, this time I'll click on this guy and now it'll go in the world view. So if I wanted to, I could grab it and basically move it out in one direction, or I could go in the normal view. You can hold the Shift key to select multiple faces and do the extrude. Again, I'm going to click on the world view so it has a more straight perpendicular or 90-degree sort of extrusion that happens there. You can do all kinds of fun things, like you can extrude in and out. You can create an offset where you have essentially an edge loop. So let me click on the extrude tool again, click on the blue cube this time. So this little blue cube, this represents the direction of the normals here. I'm going to click on the blue cube to activate, then I'm going to click on the center cube and watch what happens. It scales in my entire edge loop here. Okay, now I can repeat this action, and there's a hotkey to repeat any action in Maya. It's the G key. So from now on, I'm just going to hit the G key. But now I could extrude inwards. So I'm grabbing the blue arrow to drag inwards. Pretty cool, right? So extruding, you can do a lot with your forms. This is where the sculpting process, basically making stuff, really happens. So on this cylinder here, quite often we don't want points going to a pole like this. So what I would do is right click, go to face, select all of these, and then hold the control key or the command key to deselect the middle area and delete the top and bottom. Now I can still use this form here and use it in a better way. I'm going to right click, go to edge mode, and what I'm going to do is click on one edge and then double click so I select the entire edge loop here, and then do the extrude again. This time, instead of grabbing the arrow, I'm going to click on the blue cube and then click on the center cube here and scale inwards and watch what happens there. See how it's starting to go in? At this point I could actually just hit R and scale in from the center there. and now they're all kind of going in. Now you can hit G to repeat. I can grab the blue arrow. I can hit G again, click on blue cube, scale in. This is quite often something I would do for if I want to model like a jet or a cannon or something like that. You go back and forth between scaling in with this center cube here, or hitting R once you start the process, and then hitting G again to extrude up and create another extrusion going up like that. So already this could be like some sort of interesting cannon here. And if I hit G again, go ahead and go to R and just scale it in from there. And then finally I'm going to hit G again, and then this time I'm going to bring in the blue arrow so it looks like it has some depth to it there. Now I don't have to cap this off if I don't want to. I could leave it open like that. But you get the idea here how you could make something pretty cool with the geometry here. The last form I want to show you, simple primitive, is a sphere here, and it has to do with the keep faces together. So if I right click, go to face, I could click on one face and then double click to get an edge loop. So I'll click on one, double click, and check this out. So I'm going to extrude this, and I'm going to go in the normal direction. I'm just going to grab the blue arrow, and you'll see you get this effect here, right? Kind of interesting. But watch this time. I'm going to click on this face, double click on this face, double click, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the extrude, but this time I'm going to click off on keep faces together. So watch what happens here. As I click and drag out, each face separates. And that's what's interesting about that particular feature. Now what's really interesting is I can click on the blue cube, click on the center cube, and they will all scale in uniformly. So you can get like kind of a cool spike or crown kind of feel here very easily. So this keep faces together has its usefulness. Again, click on one face, double click to get a whole loop, click on the extrude, and right now it's default to on, but I can just click on it to turn off. Now I can click on the blue cube, scale it in, and do this where each one has an inset, which is pretty interesting. Then hit G to repeat and click on the blue arrow and drag inwards, and check that out. And the reason why this works is because I had that keep faces turned off at the beginning. By default, it always goes back to on, so just to understand that. So I'm going to right click, go back to object mode, and look at the possibilities, and this is just the beginning. We have tons and tons of possibilities here with the extrude tool. So have fun extruding different forms, experiment to your heart's content. We will explore this tool in future tutorials in Autodesk Maya. Until next time.